Hello and welcome to the final video of my MSI 2024 preview series where we're going to cover BLG, otherwise known as BiliBili Gaming. They represented the LPL at both international events last year, finishing runner-up in MSI 2023. The last 3 years, the number one seed from the LPL has won the tournament. Why I put second there is probably because I thought to myself, oh, well, BLG second last year, but JDG actually won last year, and they were the one seed. So we'll see if the LPL can go 4 years in a row at MSI in China. This roster, average age is 21.4 years old. A lot of people not liking the fact that I'm not super excited about this roster. And it's not because I don't think the roster isn't the best on paper in the world, because it is. It is because my expectations for this roster are met, and if not met. It's nothing about exceeding expectations. Like a lot of people are almost like they're surprised by the results and things like that. And it's not a surprise. This team, you could argue, in all 5 roles has the best player right now in the world in these 5 roles as the game is in its current state. Now, of course, the game is going to change going to MSI, and we'll talk about that on Wednesday in a 14.8 video, and I guess 14.7 as well. But that's why this team does not make me like fanboys are going to do what they're going to do. And unfortunately for them, they're the ones that represent the team. And they're the ones that make the team get the grief that it does. So hopefully they can learn how to calm down, if you will. So in top lane, you've been. I've been a Bin fan since 2020. His Fiora Pentakill on Suning. Had a 4.4 KDA, 8.5 CS per minute, 49.3 KP. Solo dolo top laner on an island. When you have a top laner that is under 50 KP, it's a clear as day situation that, oh, well, I mean, they're doing a lot of work without him, right? So BLG fighting, sporadically all across the Rift. They are not a team that fights together. We did see some rosters with 70 KP across the board. This one has only one player with 70 KP at all. 1.37 return on investment, so carry oriented. That's no shock. 21 gold share, 21.2 damage share. His damage share is low because he's not involved. Somebody could argue, oh, well, look at all these other players dealing a ton of damage. That's why. It's like, no. When he's only got fingerprints on half of the kills, that means half of the kills this team has gotten, Bin had 0 damage. He's not part of the team fighting for the most part. 13 out of 58, so 13 champions playing 58 games. We don't have the fun split stats for 15 minutes. We don't have solo kills due to the LPL not releasing the fun stats, which is unfortunate, and why out of the 4 major regions, it's the one I dislike the most as a production standpoint and a stats standpoint. Aatrox, K'Sante, Jax is 3 most played. Internationally, he's 58 and 29 in his career. He won MSI in 2022 with RNG. Has a 2.2 KDA, 8.2 CS per minute, 51.6 KP. He stands his ground. A lot of those 87 games were against elite competition. 1.24 return on investment. At 15 minutes, only slightly ahead of the international top laners. 100 gold, 3 CS, 105 XP. Does have 39 solo kills in those 87 games. Bin is excellent. In the jungle, we have Shun. Shun took on more of a selfish role this past split, in my opinion, and the stats indicate that. Not as involved, not facilitating, and more so getting farm, and then in the mid to late game kind of affecting the game in that way. So a 5.6 KDA, a 6.3 CS per minute, and below 66 KP. So less than 2 out of every 3 kills the jungler is involved in with this team, which is a lot different than some other teams at this tournament. There are a couple teams, I believe, with nearly 75% KP junglers. So the jungler is making things happen, whereas this team, fighting could happen anywhere with anybody except apparently Bin. 0.95 return on investment, so that is damage divided by gold, by the way, if this is the first video you're watching. A stat I've come up with to try and find the effectiveness of a player, at least from a carry-oriented standpoint. I am going to start introducing that stat into some MSI coverage and things like that, and expand on it a bit as well. 18.8 gold share, 13.3 damage share, pretty standard for this tournament for the majority of the players. 13 champions in 58 games. Vi, Lee Sin, and Kindred are his 3 most played. He's 26 and 18 internationally. 2.6 KDA, 5.6 CS per minute, 67 KP. So goes to show you last year with BLG, he also was not the creator of things, at least internationally. Damage profile remains the same at 0.98. And at 15 minutes, he was only slightly ahead of enemy junglers. 105 gold, 2 CS, 20 XP, 1 solo kill in 44 games. In mid lane, we have Knight. Knight, one of the best in the world. You can make the argument that he is the best in the world. That is not too far-fetched. He started to play Azir a bit more in the playoffs, and that's good to see. That is a threat that needed to be established. Just simply playing it in solo queue would not make, that doesn't strike fear into anybody. You have to actually play it on stage. You have to play it in moments where it matters. Otherwise, you're just scrimming at that point. Like, to establish the notion that you are comfortable on a champion, you need to play it when it's a good pick in a high stakes situation, in my opinion. So 6.3 KDA, 8.7 CS per minute, 68 KP. So he's more involved in this team than Shun even is, at least based on the stats. 1.65 return on investment, leads the team. As playoffs went along, as well as, including the entirety of the season thus far on Game of Legend, Knight actually got a higher return on investment than Elk. Elk's stats are not as high outside of the regular season, and we'll get into that. It's 21.8 gold share, 27.1 damage share. He is the secondary carry on the team. 13 champions in 58 games. Nico, Ari, Karma are his 3 most played. Internationally, he's 32 and 17. He won MSI last year with JDG. 3.8 KDA, 8.8 CS per minute, 68.5 KP. Historically, he has been actually, it's not historically, it's just a matter of fact. I remember in that one game in 2022, him in top lane on the Azir. Azir was surprised. He played it at Worlds. That game mattered. And he was by himself as his team lost. And I'll never forget that, and how Knight needed to reestablish that he was a team player after that moment, and I believe last year he did. These stats are strong, to say the least. 1.28 return on investment, 405 gold, 6 CS, 260 XP against international mid laners. That's excellent. He is one of the best laners in the world. 10 solo kills in the 49 games. 80 carry, we have Elk. Elk is super strong. One of them, I'd probably say the most aggressive 80 carry in the world. He finds a way to deal damage at a high level, at least across the sample of the regular season. When we started including playoffs and he played tougher teams more often, those numbers did not quite hold up as much, but still are very strong. 6.3 KDA. Oh, another thing, we're only going over key stats for Alkanon and then going to combine a few. So 6.3 KDA, 68.8 KP, a 1.62 return on investment, 12 champions in 58 games, Lucian, Kalista, Varus, his 3 most played. Internationally, 26 and 18 last year with BLG, 3.3 KDA, 9.6 CS per minute, 70.4 KP, 1.61 return on investment. And at 15 minutes, he was strong against enemy bot laners. Up 500 gold, 4 CS, 135 XP on average. So every game he went even in gold against the enemy 80 carry. There was a game where he was up at least 1,000. 6 solo kills in the 44 games. As support, we have On. This playoffs, for me, as far as On is concerned, has really opened my eyes to just how good he actually is. And we're going to talk about that in the support video when we get there, probably next Monday or upcoming Sunday from now. He took it. If you're new to the channel, I am big on champion pools. I'm big on experimentation. I'm big on surprise picks, just finding ways to alter the meta, finding ways to get advantages outside of simply macro and hands diff, and on really showcased a bit of Carrier-esque moments in playoffs and even in the regular season at times. So 5.6 KDA, 73 KP. Out of this entire team, On is the one that's most involved in actually getting kills on this team at nearly 3 out of every 4. 0.89 return on investment, widest champion pool, 18 and 58 games, like I was saying. Rakan, Renata, Nami are his 3 most played. When we combine a few stats for this bot lane, they actually look very good. We've seen a couple bot lanes that aren't as strong as this out of even the 2 major, the eastern regions, if you will. 10.6 CS per minute, very good. 38.4 gold share and 38.3 damage share, so it almost washes out. The output of damage from the bot duo is almost equivalent, or essentially equivalent, to the gold that they are receiving and the gold share they get from the team. Yesterday, Top Esports, I believe, was like a 2-3% difference. We've seen that as well with other teams. I think even maybe Gen G it was like that. So it kind of shows you the damage profile over the entire year and how it changes. So that's a thing. Coach is Big Way. He's 33 and 25 internationally, based on what he's accredited with on Leaguepedia as part of coaching staffs. Last year he was with BLG. Regardless, even with Tabe here, and then they also had. He also was a coach, I think, in 2019 in a minor region, maybe G-Rex or something like that, one of the Southeastern Asian teams, or either VCS, PCS, whatever. So, yeah, this team, I mean, the expectations are through the roof. They're probably the favorite going into this event. I'm not gonna, I don't get like super crazy excited about a team like that because my expectations are what they are. So this team is strong. And that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching. If you like the video, like it, subscribe to the channel for daily League of Legends content. Follow me on Twitter, join the Discord, become a YouTube supporter, and I hope to see you again tomorrow.